Hey guys, sorry I didn't realize I was chewing with gum in my mouth. I forgot about that. Anyways, so yesterday was awesome for me as far as GI symptoms. Yes, did have a little bit of cramping in the morning, but as the day rolled around and got started and all of that good stuff, I was able to eat. Woohoo! Good for me. As of right now, there is still no quote-unquote treatment options out there as far as what helps. It is disturbing. I've been, knock on wood, I've not had to go to the hospital since May. Which means that my body's working like it should. As far as having a bowel movement and not being plugged up. But I know there are less fortunate people out there as far as just other support groups I'm in. There's quite a few members that have been in the hospitals. I'm fortunate. I'm lucky that I haven't gone to the hospital since being to the hospital and admitted and stuff since then. It finally dawned on me when another vlogger, and I will, when I go to post this video, I will ask if I can tag them since I'm going to give backstory with them. And stuff. Her daughter had some, I'm not even going to mention it. Anyways, another vlogger had an emergency happen with their daughter on Wednesday. As far as eating. Well, it just dawned on me that two things could have caused my gastroparesis. One, having the EDS, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome type 3, which is a hypermobility type, which means any daily living, walking, lifting, pulling, pushing, anything that has to do with joints, such as bending down, walking, anything, picking up anything off the ground, picking up kids, whatever, I can easily dislocate. I've been fortunate for the last 31 years, almost 32, that I have not had other dislocations since then. Yes, where I was going with this was, with me, there was two things that played a factor in me having gastroparesis. One is having the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, the EDS type 3, which is a hypermobility issue, could cause my gastroparesis. Also, when I was a junior and senior in high school, the high school that I went to in Nevada, my freshman year, we had a regular lunch period. It was, they made it off campus, open campus, which means at lunchtime, the students were free to go and come during lunch hour. Well, there was a lot of issues arising and homes getting destroyed around the school, um, around the neighborhood where my local high school was. So the school board decided that they were going to have two 20-minute nutrition breaks. And that was it. And it was obviously closed campus, my junior and senior year. I, at that point, was on birth control due to other medical necessities that I had to have it. Not necessarily because I was sexually active, because I wasn't. I needed it for medical situations. So, that could also play a factor in me having gastroparesis. So with these two 20-minute nutrition breaks, it was long enough for me to stand in line, eat, get to my locker, grab my books for my next class, and get to class before the warning bell rang. That was my junior and senior year. Excuse me. I noticed then I started dropping weight. Not significantly, not enough to even make a big deal about it, but I started losing weight fairly quickly. And so I told my mom about it. And we went in and saw my OBGYN. And she's like, no, we don't believe that it has anything to do with the depot shot. We are going to keep her on it because that is a safe birth control for her to take. Well, unfortunately, I was taken off of it due to bone density issues and lack of calcium. Then I was fine. I graduated, went a long time without, trying to do college. Just, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Then in the fall of 2006, probably in the spring of 2006, I broke up with my boyfriend, moved rather quickly back into my parents' house, into their home, and by the fall, I landed a part-time job, working at Safeway. So I was doing that Monday and Wednesday, while going to a community college once a week, which was on Tuesdays. I noticed also that one day in particular, I had eaten at their cafeteria because I was staying after my class to study for, I think it was an exam or something. I was trying to catch up on homework, is what I was doing. And so I came home, and I rode the city bus. By the time I came home, I wasn't feeling good at all. I couldn't function. I couldn't even get up out of bed. Or I couldn't even get to my room. I came home in the nick of time. I came home and started vomiting profusely. And I knew something wasn't right. So my stomach hurt, my back hurt. I couldn't find my insurance card, so I couldn't go into my doctor. And so I called my mom in tears because I couldn't do this anymore. I wasn't even keeping water down. And so she's like, I'm on my way, don't worry. So she came home and I ended up in the emergency room. Excuse me, at my local hospital. They ran tests, and unfortunately, my mom had to go back to work. So I was like, crap, what am I going to do? So I immediately emailed my professor because I couldn't go to school the next day. And so I also called my work because I was sick. I was in the hospital. I couldn't do it. And I kept profusely getting sick and getting sick and getting sick and getting sick. I couldn't even keep water down. So they immediately did blood work and everything else, and they diagnosed me with mononucleosis, also known as the kissing disease. So I was like, okay, whatever. And they sent me home. Finally sent me home. By that was on a Tuesday. By that next day at night, by the time my mom got off work, I was 10 times worse. So back into the emergency room I went. They immediately hooked me up to IVs because I was severely dehydrated. And so my mom's like, we were just in here more than 24 hours ago. They said she had mono. And the doctor that saw me said, no, I think it's more than mono. I think it's something else. So they did a CT scan with contrast. Obviously, I have a piercing, so I had to take that out. I forget what they said I had. But, anyways, and I was sent home. Then, I got over that. And I couldn't return to school. So I literally had to email my professor and said, hey, I can't attend school anymore. I'm too sick right now to even remotely attempt to sit through class. He's like, no problem. We'll just talk to your advisor. We'll let you go on what they call a medical leave of absence, I guess. So I was like, okay. And so it didn't even dawn on me until just a few nights ago that all of this probably could have been prevented if the high school that I attended would have made better accommodation. I think having the 2 20-minute nutrition breaks made it worse. Being on the depot shot probably could have intensified it. But we don't know because of many other health factors I have right now due to my EDS and everything else. Number of things would have intensified it. So, I probably was in remission and was able to adapt to the foods I was eating, and then boom, because of me getting sick in college, that could have intensified it even worse. I don't know, because I was never checked. It never dawned on me to get checked for this. I've never heard of gastroparesis until my sister had mentioned it to me that her friend's daughter has it. Right now, there is no cure. There is no better treatment options for this. Now, I'm one of the lucky ones. I have it mild, which means that I can still eat by mouth on certain days. I can still do my daily activities. Yes, there is no treatment. No, there is no treatment. There is certain medication out there that just helps. There is no cure. And it sucks because every time I get on Facebook and I go into my daily groups, support groups for EDS, either the members are in the hospital not doing good, or they're giving up because there is no cure. And if you say you have it and you are struggling, I hear you. I understand you. I get it. Now, there is something that I have to consider. Number one, my body does not handle protein. It cannot handle the fiber content. It can't digest that very well. Does it stink? Yes, it does. I want to be able to eat and enjoy food again. I want to be able to go out and enjoy myself. But in fact, every morning when I wake up, I have to say, is this going to be a good day or is this going to be a crummy day as far as GI symptoms? You know what? I push through it. I say, I'm going to get through this. I can. And you know what? I'm very fortunate for right now that I'm not in the hospital. That my symptoms are under control for the time being. I never know what's going to happen in the next 5 hours. I could be doing fine right now, and then boom, not doing fine in the next 5 hours. Or I could go weeks and weeks and weeks doing fine, and then within a snap of my fingers, I could end up in the hospital. I wish this disease on nobody. Nobody. And you know what? I'm not going to quit fighting. I'm not going to give up on this until there's a cure found. It stinks being chronically ill. My loved ones have seen me at my lowest breaking point. And they're in this fight along with me, right beside me. And I'm going to do what it takes to spread awareness. Whether that means wearing green for the next couple weeks, whether that's telling people about gastroparesis and how debilitating it can be. I have hair loss from it. That is finally growing back. They used to be bald right there. and it's finally growing back. I take a shower and I pull, literally, when I go like this and you see a handful of hair, it's discouraging because my body is malnourished. It's not my fault. This is the way that God made me. I am a fighter, and I will be until He calls me home. It is not fun being chronically ill. I've been chronically ill all of my life. I have other health problems, such as a mood disorder, otherwise not specified. I have SVT, or had it. I don't know if I still have it, but I had it. I've had three knee surgeries on my knee because of an accident I was involved in. My fault. Totally my fault. It wasn't a motor vehicle accident. It was a sport-related incident. That was my fault. 100% my fault. I may look healthy on the inside, on the outside, and people think that, oh, what's wrong with you? You look so healthy. But on the inside, my body is fighting a war. My stomach's working against itself to even digest the smallest amount of food. I have it mild. It is not fun. I don't wish this disease on anybody. And if anybody says that it's all in my head, I'm going to throw a raging fit. Because it's not all in our head. It isn't. Until there is a cure found, we are going to continue to lose people from this disease. And I'm being real here, guys. This is not fun. I wake up every morning and I thank God for the day I have and what lies ahead for me. Does it stink? Yeah, but I take it with a grain of salt. I'm a fighter every step of the way. My grandmother nicknamed me Tuffy Tiffy because she knew I was tough and that I would have to work alongside this. It is not fun. There's others out there who is fighting this disease alongside me. Now, like I said, I'm going to try to fight this disease to the best of my ability that I can.